Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 253, A Day Out. The shrill ring of my alarm jolted me awake. With a groan, I rolled out of bed and threw on some clothes. A glorious sunrise was peeking through the curtains, promising a beautiful day. I grabbed my keys and headed out the door, eager to make the most of it. The beach was calling my name. But as fate would have it, my car had other plans. It refused to start, the engine turning over with a feeble cough. I'd run out of petrol again. How frustrating. With a sigh, I locked the car and set off on foot to the nearest petrol station. After filling up the tank, I got back in the car and hit the road. Traffic was at a standstill, so I decided to take a shortcut through a nearby village. Of course, I got lost. I ended up driving in circles for what felt like hours. To make matters worse, my phone battery was dying, leaving me stranded and clueless. Eventually, I spotted a small cafe ahead. It was a quaint little place with a charming garden out back. I pulled in, desperate for a coffee and some direction. As I waited for my phone to charge, I decided to indulge in a delicious pastry. The cafe was a welcome respite from the chaos of the morning. Once my phone was back to life, I managed to find my way back on track. The beach was finally in sight. The sun was shining brightly, and the sand was warm and inviting. I spread out my towel and closed my eyes, letting the sound of the waves wash over me. After soaking up the sun for a while, I decided to go for a swim. The water was invigorating, and it felt amazing to cool off. I spent a good hour splashing around before heading back to shore. I dried off and decided to explore the beach. I came across a group of people playing beach volleyball and joined in. It was a lot of fun, and I worked up a good sweat. As the afternoon wore on, I started to feel hungry. I treated myself to a delicious seafood platter at a nearby beach cafe. The food was fantastic, and the view was even better. After lunch, I took a leisurely stroll along the beach, collecting seashells as I went. The sun was beginning to set, casting a golden glow over the water. I reluctantly packed up my belongings and headed home. As I drove, I reflected on the day. It hadn't gone exactly as planned, but it had been an adventure. I arrived home feeling tired but content, ready to relax with a good book and a glass of wine. Vocabulary notes. Itching to. Verb phrase. To have a strong desire to do something. Crawling. Verb. Of traffic. Moving very slowly because there are many vehicles. Pull over. Phrasal verb. To stop your vehicle at the side of the road. People watching. Verb. The activity of watching people in a public place. Bliss. Noun. Perfect happiness and peace. Pack up. Phrasal verb. To put things away in a bag or container, especially in order to leave a place. Join in. Phrasal verb. To start taking part in an activity that is already happening. Stranded. Adjective. Left in a difficult or dangerous place, especially because you cannot get away. Quaint. Adjective. Charming and old-fashioned in a pleasant way. Indulge. Verb. To allow yourself to have something that you enjoy, especially something that is not good for you. Set off. To start a journey. Example, I set off for the beach early in the morning. Figure out. To understand or solve something. Example, I couldn't figure out where I was. Soak up. To enjoy something completely. Example, I soaked up the sun on the beach. Invigorating. Full of energy and making you feel alive. Example, the cold water was invigorating. Reluctantly. Hesitating because you don't really want to do something. Example, I reluctantly packed up my belongings. Story written by Google Gemini. Image is created by designer. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.